straight, never caps. What's good, everybody? It's your host G Slack, Super Slacker, Slack the Savior, Slack your boy. And you are about to watch the second half of the first part of the interview you just watched. During post-production, it just hurt me to cut the rest of this, so I just had to make a second video about it. Make sure you still like the video, still drop a comment, still subscribe, still share it, everything. Let's get into it. I think the first person that kind of made me fall in love with kind of the harder screamo shit was ICP, way back in the day, like way early on. But recently, bro, Scarlord been my number one, fam. You know about Scarlord?
Wow.
Bro, I actually saw him live in Detroit for his like one and only America tour that he did. He came to Detroit, this place called The Shelter, fam. It was one of the most lit, crazy mosh pits I've ever been in my fucking life. Left with a bloody nose, all that shit.
Shit, I could imagine.
I believe, bro. So you actually have a couple songs that aren't really, horrorcore, grunge, super hard. There's a couple that I found that, are a little bit lighter, a little bit more singing, a little bit more emotional. Tell me, what's your mindset when you going into the studio and you not gonna make a screaming song?
Honestly, when I go in the studio, it really just depends on my mood, what's gonna come out. If I'm in an angry, aggressive, you know what I mean, like fuck shit up mood, I'm gonna get some hardcore, horrorcore, screamo, something like that. If I'm in a sad, depressed, any mood like that, you're probably gonna get some emo rap or some of that stuff like you've seen, like the cry for help. That's really really been taken off. And if I'm in a goofy ass mood, you might get something goofy, you know what I mean? And like some of the songs I do with Trippy, like getting silly and Philly
I was
and
about to say Danimals, Danimals, man. Them is funky. Them is some funky tracks right there. I like those.
yeah, I just
Okay,
be
so
saying whatever comes to my mind.
when you're recording your screamo shit, how long do it take to get a verse done, and how many bottles of water you gotta drink?
Before it used to be a struggle. Before I'm not even gonna cap, bro. I was screaming wrong. I was doing it through my throat. My throat was getting sore. Now it's almost as easy as just doing like a regular rap verse. You know what I mean? I always keep a bottle of water because you want to make sure you stay lubricated. But I mean, I could probably get through a verse. I mean, shoot, sometimes I could scream the entire 16 bars. You know what I mean? Usually I'll try to break it up where I'm doing either 4 or 8 at a time because you're pushing out a lot more air and you don't want to, if you kind of taper out, you can really hear it in your scream as opposed to rapping. But for the most part, I've gotten so used to doing it with my diaphragm and breathing exercises, I can usually run through that just as fast as regular rapping.
Do you go in with a preset?
No, I record everything raw. I just do raw, three stacks, and then just do basic compression and panning, and then do very little with my screaming. Very little vocal effects. It's usually just compression and then panning three stacks, and that's it.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
ready
I
to
mean,
go.
hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shit. So I noticed in your videos, you know what I'm saying? They carry kind of a general theme, scary as hell, real dark, real mysterious. What's it like
Yep.
shooting with Benny Blanco, man?
He has been my favorite videographer so far to shoot with. I mean, obviously, every single video I've done just about has been through with him. I've even flown him to Florida. Shit, we flew him. We flew when we were doing Detroit. We shot a Toxic up there. We flew him to Detroit with us. He's just really professional, really good, always understanding, and I mean, he ain't afraid to grind out there and do it. But he's by far my favorite videographer that I've had the pleasure of working with. So I stay working with him.
And that's definitely a blessing to be able to work with people that's, as committed as you are, willing to take trips, willing to, hop on a flight and go make some money real quick, go make some moves.
Young artists, I would just tell them you don't give up, keep pushing. There's been plenty of times where I've been struggling, where I'm like, oh man, I ain't going nowhere. I was. It took me almost 2 or 3 years before my music started really rolling, and that was putting 150% into it. You really, once you think that you're about to just crash and burn, usually that's the time that when you might actually start picking up. But you just got to keep pushing it. I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of artists these days. They'll put in work, they'll grind for 6 months, a year and a half, not make a whole lot of progress, and just think, damn, like I mean, it ain't gonna be handed to you. You really gotta grind, and you gotta find what sets you apart. And it's really hard to do that because a lot of the music these days, it sounds the same. There's 100 people that sound just like me. How can I make myself set apart?
Right. One thing I always tell young artists, especially, if they going into specifically rap, is you honestly have to make sure that you on top of your competition. If they posting something one day, you gotta post something two of those things, they gotta look better the same day, or else you're not gonna get the recognition you want if you're not taking those necessary steps. You get what I'm saying?
But can't be mad. I mean, if you, what's that saying go? Is it closed mouths don't get fed? Yeah, that's what it is.
Truth. That's the truth.
You
Something
ain't
I
winning
also
nothing
be
with your
telling
mouth
them.
open.
Yeah, man. Something I also be telling them, like, they see somebody, blow up in out of nowhere overnight, but what they don't see is that person been posting for 8 years,
He been grinding
10
every day, and
years.
he finally got that one post. It could be your first post, or it could be your thousandth post. But you gotta keep it going. The more shots, it's just like playing the lottery. If you buy one scratch off ticket, don't expect to be a millionaire. You buy 2 million of them, you know what I mean? At one point, you might hit off one of those.
You goddamn right. And you got to be willing to take them risks too. You know what I mean? You don't really see nothing, I guess, productive from the artist that's not taking risks. You traveling, all across the country. When I was doing my rap shit heavy, I took a tour on Ohio, you know what I'm saying? Traveling here, 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 and here, networking with people. If you ain't doing that, you're not going nowhere in this game, man.
Yeah. You can't. You gotta take over the world, not try to just take over your city.
So I noticed that you actually have hit my mic. I noticed that you actually have some business inquiries outside of music. I seen that you recently launched a hot sauce.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing you'll know, I mean, if you follow my page, I'm a hustler. If there's something to make money off of something, I will find a way. And I was just chilling one day, and someone's like, you know what, man? He's like, you seem like you'd have some pretty fire ass hot sauce. And I was like, you know what? That's actually a good idea. So I worked with a distributor and ended up making my own custom recipe and everything like that. Uh, got a bunch of hot sauces made, and I actually they're sold at two local stores. Well, two stores in Columbus and then one store in Atlanta.
If y'all watching this in Columbus or Atlanta, make sure y'all go get that shit, man. It's
Yep,
probably delicious.
yep. Sky Exotics or Sky Tobacco, man, they're all headshots, bro. But it's fire and it's cheap. It's only $5.
Y'all doing online sales?
I can ship them online through my Instagram, but I haven't made a website or anything for it.
Okay,
It's doing
okay.
so it's doing so well at them stores, man. I just been piling it through that.
I'm about to say I'm a hot sauce aficionado, so I'm gonna need to get me some of that when it
I
comes
got you, man. I
available.
made you some.
Okay, bet. We own that shit. Shit, just send it to my apartment up in Chicago. We gonna be straight.
Yeah, I
So, what can we expect from Crewsont and say, let's say the next 3 months? What's your 3 month plan?
the next 3 months, this whole year actually is gonna be a lot of heavy hitters. I've already dropped two big albums. I'm doing weekly releases, collaborations with like a lot of bigger artists. Um, February, I've got an emo rap album called Dear Amber. March, I've got an album called Bad Vibes. It's more of like a Suicide Boys funk type of album. April, I've got another collab album with Sun Sacred, which is the same emo rap thing. We're doing another big. Every month, I got big albums dropping each month. This year, I'm attacking it, and we're doing I'm in the process of setting up a storyboard for a music video. I don't know if you've seen They Dead.
Definitely seen it.
Yeah, so there's that Circa Italia. We shot that with Circa Alcatraz, which is the overseer of Circa Italia. Well, they have a paranormal cert that I'm going to be collaborating with, and I'm going to try and shoot something again with them and do a World Star hip hop release. That's my goal for this year. So I've
That's
been
gonna be
saving up.
cold.
Yep, I got the money for it. I just want to do a real big hard ass release, get some stuff like that, and then I think we're gonna fly out to California and work with Happy the Snuff Star, who
Mm.
does a year-round horror show, and just go wild with it.
Man, that sounds like some great plans, and I'm excited for everything that you got going on, bro. We're gonna be watching your moves. Me and all the viewers, we excited to see everything that's gonna be happening for you 2023 and 2024. You know what I'm saying? Any shout outs you want to give before we end this off, man?
Man, just shout out to everybody I've done music with. There's too many, but I was gonna say there's too many to say, but everyone that I've done songs with, that I've been working with, Sun Sacred, Sinister, Trippy the Kid, all of you guys really made this shit happen for me, and I look forward to working with a bunch of new artists this year.
Bet, man. So I just need you to say one more thing for me. Just say my tagline. That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so all you got to say is, I am Crewsont, and I just did 15 minutes with G Slack.
All right. I am Crewsont. I just did 15 minutes with G Slack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
We out.
yeah. I said big G Slack, give it straight, never caps.